The following program, though incredibly nerdy, is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised, and you probably shouldn't watch if you're an overly sensitive pussy.
Lots of fun things out there going on in the world. A lot of stuff for us to get yapping about today. I hope you guys are doing well. What's going on, man? Y'all okay? Did you survive a Wednesday without me? Did you survive? Did you make it? Did you see all the fun, nerdy things that are going on, man? Oh, man. I'm telling you, it feels like to me that Game of Thrones, dude, Game of Thrones. They're kind of killing it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They are kind of killing it. Bring this over here. What up? Cannot wait for this upcoming year as a nerd. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good year, man. I'm actually kind of surprised at how well Thrones is doing and how hyped I am about all the Thrones stuff. Finale of a show coming out soon. Hot D season 3 trailer just dropped earlier today. We're gonna go over that, talk about that a little bit. Looks cool. You know, I have a little bit of concerns about Hot D, but overall, really strong message sending beginning of the year for Thrones. You know, with this show doing what it's doing, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms. This trailer here, it was just announced that there's a play, maybe even movies. George is out there talking all kinds of shit, dude. So there's a lot of stuff going on for Thrones, which is pretty freaking cool. There's a lot of cool nerdy things going on. I'm pretty excited about the Spider Noir show. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we're going to get into today. So, ladies and gentlemen, just so you're aware, today's topics, I want to talk a little bit about the Ben Solo movie. Mostly because I feel like this shit is, they're going to make this movie. They're either going to put Ben into like the Rey trilogy thing, or they're going to make this movie. Steven Soderbergh came out and was talking about this, how he lost like 2.5 years of his life working on this shit. And the timing is just so wild, and it really does seem like, you know, we touched on this a little bit, I think, on Tuesday when the Mando Grogu trailer came out, that it was starting to look like maybe Josh D'Amaro was going to do the Ben Solo movie. I think it's going to happen. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about Thrones, like we just said. A lot of cool stuff. New trailer. The finale of Night of the Seven Kingdom. Maybe a play, maybe a movie. What the hell? We've got some comments from Thor himself, Chris Hemsworth. talking about the future for Thor, which actually lines up with some things we've heard from leakers, scoopers, etc. So we'll get into that a little bit. We got some Spider-Man stuff going on, a little bit of leakage going on about Spider-Man that I want to get into because I certainly have some thoughts about it. I think there's a thing they're about to do with Spider-Man. And I don't know, man. I guess I wonder how the Spider-Man fans are going to feel about it. To me, we talked a lot about how this is going to be like the year of Spider-Man. You got Spider-Noir, Nick Cage, Tom Holland, Spider-Man. His movie's coming out with Hulk, Punisher, maybe Jean Grey. And then Tobey, very likely in Doomsday. But what if there's something about the appearance for Tobey and for Tom Holland Spider-Man that are like, that's not that great? Like they both died. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it. Then we have the very beginnings of a crazy story about Batman and the DCU Batman and Matt Reeves Batman. And so we're going to talk about that. This is coming from Daniel Richtman's Patreon. It's probably one of those things he said, but then if it makes news, he'll come out and be like, I never said that. But he did say it. And we're going to speculate about it. We're going to talk about it a little bit. So that's what's on the agenda for today. I also want to let you guys know that I dropped a massive video this morning on the main Den of Nerds channel. It's like a 40-plus minute video. And I did a ton of research for it. And it basically outlines the plan that Marvel Studios had for Kang, for Robert Downey Jr., for Doctor Doom. And I basically did a shit ton of research and laid out for you in this video the evidence that Doom was always going to be the villain. So, number one, I would suggest you go watch that video. But number two, I actually want to do a whiteboard stream tomorrow where I go into even more detail because there's actually some stuff that I uncovered even sort of after the bulk of that video, because like I've been just in super research mode, going back, researching a ton of stuff, looking at old articles, all sorts of stuff. But the point is this: about 70 to 80% done with the video that I dropped today, where I uncovered even more stuff, and it's really blowing my mind. I'll tease one little thing about it, and then we'll talk more about it tomorrow, okay? Chat, do you guys remember how much I used to yap about the Dark Avengers? Just out of curiosity, for a lot of you that have kind of been around or whatever, do you remember how much I used to yap personally about the Dark Avengers? Do you guys remember? Yeah. Well, there was a reason why. And when I went back and looked at a lot of this stuff and sort of traced it back, and if you watch the video that I dropped today, like maybe you'll kind of figure out where I'm going with this. But again, I really think I figured it all out. Those rumors were real. I don't remember. Maybe you guys forget this. But Charles Murphy, who occasionally we talk about here on the channel, I think pretty good, somewhat out of the scooping game these days, but at one time was like maybe one of the most plugged in people that was around. So there was a brief moment where Charles Murphy was actually working with the Hashtag Show. He did an article in a big exclusive for the Hashtag Show. I think it was in 2018. Okay. And in this exclusive, Charles Murphy explains that Marvel literally commissioned a Dark Avenger script in 2018. Okay? Now, again, I think I know why. And I think I know what dude, guys, this is so cool. And I feel... Okay, so I'm either right about this, and it's going to take everything we've kind of already been talking about since Doomsday was announced. I mean, look, like a lot of you guys are pretty hardcore. You follow the channel pretty closely and whatnot, and so a lot of you probably know, like, more or less, where my mind has been at, what I've been thinking about all these things. But when I tell you that the more I looked at this stuff, the picture started to come together, and I was like, oh my God, they decided that they were going to do this a long time ago. And the Dark Avengers thing connects to the Tony thing, connects to the Doctor Doom thing. It is all connected, and I will we'll break it all down tomorrow. It'll be cool. We'll do a whiteboard stream, and we'll break it all down. Yo, did the music just like stop playing? What the fuck? What the hell? I just don't hear the music anymore now? Is the music playing for you guys? What the hell? Now I can't. You hear it? Why can't I hear it anymore? What the hell happened? What is going on here? No! You hear it? What happened, dude? The fuck? We don't need problems like this. What the fuck? These goddamn interdimensional beings. These goddamn interdimensional beings. Fuck with my shit. Here, hang on. Maybe it's this. Haha, I figured it out. Shut up. You can't just blame everything on interdimensional beings. Fucking chat. All right, anyway. I always hear music in my head. Okay, there you go. Cool. The Real Dark Boyd says 15 months going strong. Nerdvenge for life. Working on my Tau army during the stream. My first ghost kill is coming together. Oh, nice, dude. For the greater good. Can't wait to see everyone at MegaCon. Oh, that's awesome, man. I hope you guys have a blast at MegaCon for sure. By the way, very soon, and I'm talking about within the next week, we are doing a full ass, not a half ass, not a quarter ass. I'm talking 2 cheeks, full ass Warhammer stream. That's right, full ass Warhammer stream, because I've been thinking about how to make more Warhammer content, how to have fun with the Nerdvengers that are becoming Warhammer fans. We will talk about the book club when I do this stream, but I also have I got a pretty cool idea. I got a pretty cool idea about how we can figure this all out. So you'll see the thumbnail. It'll be very obvious to you. It'll be like me in some Warhammer armor or something like that, and I'll be like, fucking Warhammer's the best, everything else sucks. Full ass Warhammer stream, 2 cheeks, you know. So if you want to be grumpy about it, oh, you don't like Warhammer? Well, that's fine. You don't gotta watch that stream. Seriously, you don't have to. There'll be a lot of other streams, but we are gonna do the occasional full ass Warhammer stream because I love Warhammer and I gotta talk about it. I gotta talk more about it. So that'll be Warhammer podcast happening still, sort of. I'll explain it when we do the Warhammer stream. I'll explain it all. Yo, you the #1 nerdy escape, broski. Oh, thanks, man. I'm glad you're having a good time with it. I love the nerdy shit, and I like to provide a little bit of escape. So hell yeah, man. Happy Thursday, Nerdvengers for life. Oh hell yeah, let's go. Sounds like full ass. Yeah, in a good way though. Right? In a good way? Talk about it in your sleep. What? Fuck. ZB says your video is heat, bro. I took I was like 10 minutes so far. The interview with Joe Rogan was stand. Yeah. No, I'm glad you like it. Do trust me that we cooked on that video. Yeah, I'm in the process of making some changes with like the channels. Doesn't really matter for a lot of you, like, but I will be trying to make more lengthy and detailed videos on the main channel. I figure between the streams and the clips channel, we can kind of stay up to date with fast-paced news stuff, turnaround opinions, you know, some react content, you know, that low effort kind of slop content that we all still love, you know what I mean? So we'll do that over here. And I want to make better videos for the main channel. I'm actually working on the Iron Man recap right now, and that script is going well, but it'll end up being probably a longer video as well. So yeah, glad you like it. Oh, you are trying again? Good for you. Hey, fuck you, Daniel, huh? It's not that simple. It's not like I wasn't trying before. I'm trying something different. You know what I mean? You know, even though the streams are a little bit more low effort or whatever. Do you know why they're trying? Because of motherfuckers like you, Daniel. So don't worry. You're trying my patience. You see, there's a lot of trying going on here because you're trying my fucking patience, dog. That's what's going on. That's the trying. But I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Can you imagine Josh on Rogan? LMAO? Nah, probably not. Probably not. How long until you quit YouTube again? I don't know. It kind of depends on how the first trailer is for Spider-Man. I'll tell you this. If I was just doing Star Wars, dude, I would have fucking quit a while ago, bro. Dude, I genuinely, and I'm honestly not saying this to be a dig. I genuinely feel bad for content creators that like are basically focused completely on Star Wars, because holy, it's not going well over there. It's not going well over there. Where is your long form? Heather is the key to everything video. Definitely not going to make that video, but you might be surprised at some of the things that I decide to make incredibly long and nerdy videos about. I do want to get hyper fixated on some ridiculous things and have fun with them, but that's not going to be one of them. Thanks. Thank you. LMAO, I know how his theory does. It's probably destroying his health. Yeah, I mean, I think, look, I obviously haven't talked to him in a while, but I think at the end of the day, everybody's like, content's sort of weird, right? When you get niched into something, I think almost everything that you would cover is probably going to have high points and low points. And I think if you really love the thing, like that's key to it, is like really loving the thing, because otherwise I don't know how you get through the dark times, and not to yap like too much about this, because like, dude, I feel the yapping happening. Like I'm just going to go on a whole fucking tangent on this. But what I will say is that like one of the things that I genuinely like about Marvel, and I always have, has been the connections, the Easter eggs, the speculation, the way it really is, storylines. It's a lot more episodic like television as compared to most movie franchises. And they've done a really good job. Obviously, there's been a fall off in quality, and the Phase 4 stuff was whack. But even throughout that, there was still like that aspect of the universe to sink my teeth into. And because I genuinely love that kind of shit and that nerdy shit, I was able to still enjoy Marvel. What I found was, though, I wasn't necessarily enjoying Marvel if I was just sitting there enjoying all the different offerings they made. That's why I like stopped watching the Disney Plus shows, because they actually gave me like, I didn't like them, and they were giving me like a negative experience. So I was like, you know what? No, I'd literally rather go back and look at old interviews of Michael Waldron talking about Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter. That's just me. That's my fandom. Is I would genuinely rather engage with Marvel in a different way than they were sort of offering up content. But yeah, dude, I don't know. It's probably tough for Star Wars, as we're gonna discuss today, though. Not 100% doom and gloom. I mean, it's pretty fucking dark. I'm gonna be honest. It's pretty bleak over there. But there are ways to maybe generate some hype and to maybe get some exciting things happening for them. Because at the end of the day, like, for the folks that do cover Star Wars and for the fans that still care, that's what it's about. You need some interesting things. People need to get excited. It needs to deliver to the fans, and then you do that again, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, we're on a hot streak. Star Wars has been cooking. You know what I mean? Like, those will be the discussions that are had. So we'll see. Am I tweaking that Hot D trailer CGI didn't look good? It doesn't look as good as you would expect it to look. I think that's fair. In my opinion, I would agree with that. Modern Star Wars is busted. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Honestly, like the new Mando trailer, I'm not fully on board with a little more exciting than I was for the first trailer. Yeah, okay, so let's, you know what? All right. Should we get into it? I guess the place to start would be Star Wars, yeah? So hang on. Let me get a couple of things pulled up for you guys. Burn up a burner. Burn up a burner. Okay. Let's get that out of here. All right, pause that. Oh, I gotta move this. Thing. Oh shit. Oh shit. All right, so let's talk a little Star Wars. Couple of interesting things actually going on with Star Wars right now, guys. Oh god, I chose the wrong way to adjust my chair. Okay. So Star Wars currently things not going super well. However, they've got an opportunity, and the main reason I want to talk about this in this segment today is that I think a lot of signs are starting to point to them doing this Ben Solo movie, or at the very least bringing Ben Solo into the plan that they currently have with Star Wars. So you will recall that late last year in a massive story, it broke that there was an Adam Driver hunt for Ben Solo movie, that David Goyer was involved, Steven Soderbergh was going to direct it. It was a big deal. Like Disney had greenlit it, and Disney ended up shutting it down. Okay. And in a strange sort of turn, Adam Driver himself, some of the producers, Goyer, Steven Soderbergh, people start kind of like speaking out about it. It was really, really wild. Something happened there that doesn't happen often for Star Wars. And it was a coming together where a lot of folks, regardless of how they feel about different Star Wars shows, characters, or whatever, kind of came together and was like, this would have been a lot better than a lot of the crap that they've put out. This would have been cool to see. I can't believe they didn't make this. And it kind of surprised me how much it caught on. I don't know if it surprised some of you guys in chat, but I was genuinely surprised at how many people were like, yo, Hunt for Ben Solo would have been pretty cool. Now, what's crazy about that is that actually hands Disney and Lucasfilm a really interesting opportunity, because now knowing that there is buzz for it, now knowing that it's out there and that people have responded to it in a pretty positive way, they have the opportunity to go back and actually make the thing. And remember, too, we've got a new president, or I guess co-presidents of Lucasfilm. We've got a new CEO of Disney itself. And we just talked about it on Tuesday, how there was a rumor out there that Josh D'Amaro, the new CEO of Disney, is out there maybe killing some things. Like he killed that Villain Island thing that was going to be at one of the Disney parks. He's having the Imagineers think big. He's telling them not to think about budget. And there were even rumors that he might revitalize this Hunt for Ben Solo movie. I think they should do it. I don't think it solves all the problems in the world. And I know a ton of Star Wars fans will still moan and groan and sigh at it. That's just, by the way, I think that's just kind of like what Star Wars is now. Like, you're basically always going to have different sects of the fandom that are going to moan about decisions. It's a divided fandom. I think, though, this is a W. And I think especially considering that the alternative to this, guys, is frankly all the Rey movies. All the Rey movies. I just saw people were sharing it on our Discord. There's some kind of production weekly listing that suggests that the Charmin Obed Chinoy Rey movie is still on course and it'll be out in 2027. And if the rumors about Sean Levy's movie are to be believed, which hopefully they're not true, and they've kind of hinted that maybe it isn't true, right? But the rumors are that Rey and the Rey's Jedi Academy will be at the end of that film. Simon Kinberg is working on a Rey trilogy. That's literally 5 movies with Rey, dude. I'm not even kidding. That's 5 movies with Rey, and Rey would then represent the new Obi-Wan for Star Wars. So that's the current fucking plan, guys. Okay? So I don't know. Call me crazy, but I'm over here like, yes, for the love of God, at least bring back Ben Solo into that equation. Add that character into this, because otherwise there's really nothing here for me. And I just feel like it's all goobly glob. So I think, frankly, they are going to do this. And I wonder what you think about this, chat, as well. But there's a couple other things I want to say with regards to Star Wars, because we continue to have this conversation, and people in chat are like asking me what about how I think the trailer performed, or there's just been a lot of debate. You know, it's very Star Wars. It's a very Star Wars fandom thing to do, to not even be able to agree with how a trailer is performing, even though it's out there, the conversation's public, the viewership of the trailer's public. There's literally analytics companies that are reporting on how the performance of the trailer is. So, you know, just another day in the Star Wars land with the Star Wars fans. But I did want to bring this up because I asked Grok, and I know I fucking hate, like, Grok, is this true? Like, I fucking hate this world that we're in now, where we have to ask Grok and AI and all that, but that's where we're at. So I asked Grok, right? I was like, what are the views across all platforms for the newest Mandalorian and Grogu trailer? How does that compare to the views for other popular trailers in the same time frame? And it says here, the newest trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu was released February 17th, 2026. As of February 19th, approximately 2 days post-release, view count for major platforms are 9.5 million views on YouTube. On the X account, 4.9 million views. Aggregated totals across all platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, have not been officially reported given the recency of the release. Based on the patterns from the film's earlier teaser trailer, which amassed 131 million views across major platforms in 4 months, with a significant contribution from Facebook at 68, TikTok at 27.5. A rough estimate for the new trailer's current total is between 20 to 30 million range, although this is speculative. For comparison, The Devil Wears Prada 2, which released a trailer February 2nd in 2026, has 222 million views across platforms in the first 24 hours. The Beauty, an FX series released in early February, 190 million views across platforms in 7 days. Master of the Universe, which released in January, 120 million views across platforms in 14 days. These figures indicate that the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer early performance is notably lower than its contemporaries, suggested a muted initial hype relative to overall high-profile releases in the same period. Yeah, I think this is fucking accurate, guys. So to say it again in a different way, Star Wars finds itself in such a rough fucking spot. I hope, and I think especially after this trailer came out, that they are aware of potentially the lack of hype for this thing, right? Like they gotta at least be aware of it. They probably have better metrics than even are publicly available to us, right? So hopefully they're aware of it. I think, again, if they just do some Luke Skywalker stuff and throw some Luke Skywalker stuff, it's probably going to solve all these problems, get some hype to the project, get people excited about it. Because as it currently stands right now, this thing feels like a big old stinker. And I think Star Wars is genuinely in danger of getting a residency at Six Flags. I'm not trying to be super rude about this, but I'm actually dead ass. This trailer, Mando and Grogu, never even broke into the top 10 of trending topics on X. Not when it officially first released. No time during that day. It never broke into the top 10 of trending topics on Twitter. Guys, Star Wars is in danger. Danger! Sound that alarm! Sound that fucking Death Star alarm! Because we're fucked. So I really think that they need to make this fucking Ben Solo movie. That's probably not even going to solve the problems, but they need to start thinking this way. They need to start thinking big, and they probably need to do some stuff that is going to shock and surprise the fans, because as it currently stands, man, things are not looking good. So there you go, Star Wars fans. What do you think of that, chat? Chat, what do you think of that shit? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are there still people thinking that Mando Grogu is going to do well? What's new? Yeah, I know, right? Grogu needed to develop. We don't want a Rey movie. We want Rey. Wow, interesting. The duality of man. Grogu was so 6 years ago. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Any movie with JJ's fake-ass Star Wars character is going to be a steamer. Oh, geez. Oh, man. Oh, man. And what if they do Luke and it still doesn't work? Then it needs to be put out to pasture. You need to get the will in order. You know what I mean? You need to say your goodbyes. Because, my God. But at the same time, what left is there to do? Like, you got to go for it. I mean, I don't know, like Star Wars. Like I would just like if I was the Josh tomorrow, you know what I mean? Like I'd bring Dave Filoni in to my office and I'd be like, that hat. That fucking hat. How many times have I told? No, that's just a Kill Bill thing. But like, I would be like, Dave, this movie seems to be ass. Nobody's interested in this movie. What the fuck happened? I thought Grogu was a cash cow. You want to keep that fucking hat? You better explain to me right now what the fuck is happening. You know what I mean? Like, I would need some answers. And, I wonder if Dave has any answers. You know what I mean? Like, what's the strategy? Well, I think we'll just keep making Star Wars. Oh, incredible strategy, Dave. So yeah, I guess we'll just see. Do you want good Ben or Kylo? I want zero sequel stuff. Buddy, I want zero sequel stuff too, but you're getting sequel stuff. I mean, I don't know, brother. I don't know. We've been reporting on it for years. Dude, guys, I've tried to fucking tell you this actually way before anybody. I'm going to be honest. I tried to warn you guys about this years and years ago, where I said, dude, it's all Rey. It's just all Rey. I mean, technically, I was making videos about Ben Solo's return, which was connected to the hunt for Ben Solo way before anybody was. And I looked really foolish at the time because they never ended up making that movie. Now it's like, oh, yeah, no, that's where that came from. So what I'm trying to say is they're pretty committed to Rey and sequel stuff, bud. You know what I mean? Like, bud, hey, bud, listen, bud. They're pretty committed to the sequel stuff, bud. So your options, Rossi, okay, are sequel stuff with no Ben Solo, or sequel stuff with Ben Solo. Those are your options, dog. Which way, Western man? Like, what do you want to do? Rey can work. I mean, hopefully she works it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what you're gonna get, man. That's what you're gonna get. Den of self-glaze? Was that... I felt like that was like an appropriate amount of self-glazing. Was that a little too much? I'm the fucking best, guys. Nobody does it like me. Make Star Wars cool again. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Like, what if you... Again, I think Josh should, take Dave into his office and be like, what if we, instead of like trying to make Rey work, what if we were instead trying to make Star Wars cool again? You know what I mean? Like, that's like a fair question. What if instead of trying to make Rey work, we tried to make Star Wars cool again? Yeah. I need aura farming and badassery. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Josh, you should run Star Wars. Yeah, but that ain't gonna happen either, brother. If being mid is what they want to stop doing the movie, it's gonna be the most Sith in the catalog. The movie is to go with the most mid Sith in the catalog. Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, yeah, with Kylo. Well, look, I think out of all of the characters of the sequel trilogy, Kylo or Ben Solo is probably the best one. He's an actual Skywalker, number one, right? So, like, he's actually a Skywalker. Like, he actually has Skywalker blood, not like some fuck-ass, who the fuck are you? Why? Nobody's been here for so long. I'm Rey Skywalker. Like, none of that. Like, he's an actual Skywalker, for one. Yeah, like, dude, he was given all of the plot points and all of the struggle that they were afraid to give Rey, and it made people like the character more. So yeah. Okay, all right, that's probably enough. We don't have to waste too much more time on that. Read your super. Okay, hang on. Okay, but hang on. I trust the animated projects before I do any movies. I just go all in on animated at this point, cooked to the max. So yeah, there's just no way that's gonna work. You know what I mean? Like, again, and I think Disney's kind of in a no-win situation. But you know, they paid billions of dollars for those things. The movies technically made money. Like, I'm sure it's hard for even some people at Disney to look at the numbers and be like, I don't understand. How is this brand so dead? But it looks fine on paper. Trust me, that's where Mando Grogu box office is going to be really, really important to sort of proving that point. But yeah, they'll never just go to animated stuff, man. They will literally never do that. But yeah, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I prefer live action. Yeah, I mean, I think Star Wars needs to be live action, frankly. The animated Star Wars stuff is really cool. Like, I really especially like a lot of the Dave stuff, obviously, was good, and he cooked. But yeah. I prefer Ahsoka over Rey. I like Ahsoka a lot. I like Ahsoka way more than Rey. I think Ahsoka has the benefit of being developed next to Anakin and being developed for a long, long time. So I think that's probably why a lot more fans kind of fuck with Ahsoka, and hopefully we lean into that for sure. But yeah, I mean, guys, I don't know what else to tell you. They're doing more Rey stuff, right? Like, the Rey stuff is coming. I personally think you inject Ben into that, and the Rey stuff is better. It's better with Ben, you know? And I would prefer Ben to still be alive and be brought back in some way, and there to be some future canon stuff with Ben, you know? Something on my shirt, or is that part of the... Oh, that's part of the thing. Get your Reylo agenda out of here? Well, you know what? I wasn't even going to say it, Adam. But should they be banging? Absolutely. Should they be having Force babies? Absolutely. So yeah, no, hopefully they're banging. All right, let's end that segment. Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, but that means more Rey? Yes, brother, but hopefully from a more preferred angle, if you know what I'm saying. And also, I just told you, you're getting more Rey. There's no way around it. You're getting Rey. Okay, were you not paying attention? Do I need to do that whole fucking segment over again? Holy shit, bro. Holy shit, dog. Holy shit, bro. All right, I can't fucking believe it, but Game of Thrones might be back on top. I'm serious. Can't believe it. But it might actually be happening. Now, the thing about Thrones, for me, I gotta yap about this, man. I really want to get into the weeds on this, because Thrones is a franchise that I've actually covered a little bit here and there throughout my entire time on YouTube, because the entire time I've been on YouTube really focused a lot more on Marvel and Star Wars. But I've made Thrones content. So actually I have like a couple of videos. There was a video where Justin used to work for the channel. We have a video of like 600K where he was breaking down a theory about like the Night King and stuff like that. I personally have a couple of Game of Thrones videos like up over 100K when I used to like cover the show, especially the original show. And Thrones was a big thing for me as a nerd. Chat, I wonder if Thrones is important to you. Maybe for some of you it's not at all. But for me it was. There's a lot of awesome nerdy things that have made up my life, whether it's a Comic-Con, going to see a Marvel movie, going to a Star Wars celebration, all kinds of different ways. Midnight release of a dope video game. You know, we love these different nerdy things. Dragon Ball Super, back in the day, Tournament of Power, Arc, dude, that shit was incredible. Thrones is up there. When the original series was coming out, man, I had a lot of watch parties, would hang out with a lot of friends on Sundays, and it was a thing. It became a ritual, watching the latest episode of Thrones on a Sunday night. Did it for years. But of course, that season, the one that started it all, ended in, kind of a shitty way. And a lot of folks were pretty turned off by it, to the point that it looked like this incredible success, the show that was literally the biggest show on the planet, might not ever get back to that height and might sort of fall off forever. House of the Dragon season 1 was surprising in the sense that it somehow, some way, despite all of that trepidation, despite the situation with the original show, it was able to capture a lot of that magic. I loved that first season of House of the Dragon. A lot of people spoke very highly of it. And it really felt like at that time, like, oh my God, Thrones was actually able to have a successful spinoff. Do you remember some of the numbers that got thrown around for that first season? 30 million viewers an episode. That's like crazy numbers that like HBO was throwing out. Now they include like the HBO numbers, the HBO Max numbers and all that, right? But like 30 million watching an episode? Jesus Christ, that's insane, right? That's like really crazy. So obviously that was big. Now season 2 comes out, little bit of a fall off. And there's drama. Okay, there's drama. Ryan Connolly, the showrunner for House of the Dragon, and George R.R. Martin, public beef. George has really spoken about that a couple of times. It was like really awkward. And you're like, oh no, Thrones, are you spiraling back into what happened to the original show? George is having problems with the main creator. Miguel Sapochnik leaves. Like, oh shit, you know? And then out of nowhere, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms comes out, and it is fire, ladies and gentlemen. It is fire. We just talked about that on a segment the other day. Love that show. Blown away by episode 5. And it has its season finale this Sunday. So the 6th and final episode of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms comes out this Sunday. The very first teaser trailer for House of the Dragon season 3 came out today and revealed that the show, the 3rd season, is going to come out in June. So, dude, out of nowhere, Game of Thrones feels like it's back on top. Like, this feels like some serious motion. Let's watch this trailer together, even though I'll probably get dinged on this for the clip, but let's watch it anyway. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, so loud.
Alicent came to Dragonstone. She will open the gates of the Red Keep and surrender to me.
You cannot trust her.
The king has abdicated the throne.
A new dawn is coming. A new line of unsullied kings.
You are the Queen of Dragons. You have an absolute power within your grasp.
Soon or late, Rhaenyra will send her new dragons here. It would be the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the moment you become queen.
In June. And it's so cool that they have this trailer as the hype has built up for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. It's just like, I really truly respect it. Like, hats off, man. Like, that's really cool. Like, that's the kind of synergy that we want from Marvel. That's ultimately, I think, what DC wants to be doing too. You want to get to this point where you're creating content that fans are liking, and you have a little tease of the next thing at the height of the moment of the current thing. That's the formula, man. Like, that really, really feels good for a fan. It creates momentum. It makes you want to really engage with the property quite a bit. Kind of prevents that churn stuff. It's like everything that you want to do with your franchise or with your IP. So on top of that, I think the trailer looks really cool. Now, a couple of things within this trailer. This sea battle here is apparently one of the most iconic battles during this whole thing. And I think from what I saw online, this is one of the largest scale battles they've ever filmed for the series, including the original. And it's a massive sea battle, maybe one of the biggest sea battles ever put to film. And it's a really, really important part of this entire tale here. So that is probably going to be like their hard home or their Battle of the Bastards. They've been kind of positioning that second to last episode as that epic, crazy thing. It's kind of what happened last season. But overall, too, even outside of that big battle, there seems to be a lot more tension and action happening just in general. Maybe it's just the trailer making it look like that. But, one of the things about last season was it felt like that last little bit of tension right before some shit really kicked off. And then, of course, it ends with a big, crazy dragon battle and the king being, maimed, and then a whole new world coming out, which is going to be like fucking apocalyptic. And if you know anything about the House of the Dance of the Dragons, that story, that moment in history, it's just basically going to be bloody chaos from here on out. A lot of tragedy, a lot of epic action, and the destruction of basically House Targaryen, and a lot of the dragons, which is going to be fucking awesome to see. So, dude, what a cool moment for Game of Thrones. And then on top of that, George was talking yesterday, did a couple of big interviews about how there's going to be a Game of Thrones play that's actually going to hit Broadway, which feels so cool. My wife loves Broadway and loves play. We haven't been to a Broadway play in a couple of years now. That feels like something we're going to want to do. I want to go see that, especially because it's Robert's Rebellion. And that is fucking cool. While he was promoting that play, he was also still teasing these movies, which is another thing we've talked about over the last couple of years. It's I continue to say that George and HBO do want to do Game of Thrones movies. They want to. I think they're trying to figure that out. And obviously, the continued success of the shows is an important piece to that, again, because it just builds and builds and builds and gets people, excited about it. But, dude, out of all the different franchises out there, Thrones seems to be doing pretty fucking good. And that's despite some serious boneheaded decisions, a little bit of drama here and there. But ultimately, I feel like they're doing pretty good. And I think that the Dunk and Egg show is doing some seriously heavy lifting for this franchise and giving it something it really needed. Because I think if you just go from season 2 House of the Dragon into season 3, there's just so many questions. But to have the trailer drop in the middle of when people are fucking hyped about A Song of Ice and Fire because the new show's actually great, that is a gift. That is a gift. And, that used to be a little bit more of some Marvel energy of what they were able to pull off. So pretty interesting. And as we approach, Doomsday and 2027, 2028, and 2029, and 2030, and we start to, we're thinking about fucking franchises and what does this all look like going forward? How are these different franchises doing? The Zelda stuff's coming, live action anime becoming more prevalent. What does entertainment look like? Who's doing well? Who's doing poorly? I think Thrones is fucking killing it, man. And it makes me want to get more Thrones shit. It makes me want to get a nice leather-bound book, or a Game of Thrones shirt. I got a Game of Thrones chair. Did you see it? Yep, I got it. Maybe I'll get another one. What do you guys think, man? What do you think? Am I crazy? Am I alone in this Game of Thrones hype, or are some of you guys feeling it? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you guys getting excited? And are we going to do breakdowns of this shit in June when we get to Hot D? When is D&D 2 coming out? What? Irrelevant. Irrelevant. Josh loves Hot D. I really do. This is tingling my Peter. Hell yeah, mine too. This show is ass. What? What show is ass? Thrones always felt overrated to me. What? No, sir. Although, I don't know. It's had its ups and downs for sure. But I think when Thrones is at its best, it is awesome. And I think the episode 5 of A Night of the Seven Kingdom really speaks to that. It's able to take you through highs and lows, have catharsis and feel good, and then get your heart ripped out in the middle of that. That's Thrones. I forgot what happened in season 2 of Hot D. Yeah, Damon just trips out on mushrooms with the freaky lady in the one old castle, basically, the whole season. That's basically all that happened, yeah. The Game of Thrones universe run shows that brands can survive creative decision missteps as long as they don't lose identity. Yeah, ultimately, I think that's true. It shows that you don't have to be perfect. In fact, you can actually mess some things up and you can have some controversies, but as long as you kind of keep coming back and more often than not deliver on the experience that the fans are looking for, I think people will, people want to enjoy their content. I think that's probably the best way to say it is Thrones, and particularly the Dunk and Egg show, shows that people do just want to enjoy their content. I know there's a lot of cynics out there, and I know it can seem like all fandoms are just incredibly cynical, and they're not willing to get past their own personal desires and enjoy a thing as a collective, right? And I bet a lot of, like, you know, executives feel that way. They look out and they're just like, God, man, can you even do this anymore? Can you even satisfy an audience anymore? Brother, I think you can. I think A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is showing that, is proving that. Yeah, it's pretty good. The Extra says, Reign of the Mad King movie. Can you imagine? So I actually think, and maybe I'm just an insane person, chat, but I think the best way to make Game of Thrones movies is to tell the story after Bran becomes king. And in fact, I would do a whole trilogy. Like a whole trilogy where, Bran's been king for like 10 years. Something dark's now happening. It's bad. And Jon needs to come back. And Arya needs to come back. And maybe even Daenerys is alive somehow. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't Arya going west one of those stories? I believe so. I know George just gave some kind of like a tentative update on all of that sort of stuff. But back in the day, the Jon Snow show was one of them. The Arya show was one of them. Absolutely. Absolutely. They were developing an Arya show. And they were developing a Jon Snow show. Yeah. So they're definitely developing the future content past King Bran. 100%. And maybe that's a part of why the Jon Snow show could never come together or whatever. But that's the way I would do it. I think that's the biggest draw. AI will fix the end of Game of Thrones. Well, they could do a trilogy of movies that fixes the end of it. You know? Only if Bran is killed and a better king is put in place. I think that's the perfect way to do it. Bran is dead. He left a message for Jon. Something bad is coming. And that thing killed Bran. And that thing is also Doctor Doom. Let's go! Doctor Doom in Game of Thrones! Don't you think so? Don't you think that would be lit? I'm glazing? What? I'm glazing the show that I think's fucking cool? Yeah, I am. God. Maybe they need an episode where it shows Bran doing everything to affect the past, or a movie. Yeah, something like that could be interesting, yeah. I think they really fumbled the Bran shit, to be honest. He has to do Dickie McGee's ex, bro. It was Abaddon, not Doom. Ooh, that would be cool, too. Maybe it's Abaddon and Doom working together with the Maestro Hulk. Hell yeah. So, look, I'm glad we all realized that Game of Thrones is fucking killing it. One of the best franchises out right now, and we're a Game of Thrones channel now. That's what I'm saying, guys. We're a Warhammer channel now. We're a Game of Thrones channel now. We got to let go of Star Wars. Marvel, yes, because of Doom. But we're a Game of Thrones channel now. So, hell yeah! House of the Dragon Season 3! Oh, yeah. We're also an anime channel? Yeah, we're also an anime channel. 100%. We're also an anime channel. Dan and Dave ruined the storyline. Yeah, Dan and Dave kind of suck ass, don't they, huh? Dan and Dave. What a bunch of fucking buttholes, huh? Invincible in 1 month, too. I know, and I've been trying to figure out, like, what Invincible video do I want to do? Because I want to do an Invincible video. Should I just, like, recap all of the seasons in, like, a funny way? And do, like, comic book references and stuff like that? Is Josh looking to pivot the channel? Not really, like, pivot. I just want to expand. Like, there's just so much nerdy stuff. And I feel like we get bogged down a little bit talking too much about Marvel and Star Wars. And look, we love those. We love those franchises. But at the end of the day, there's just so much good stuff coming, man. You know? The video game movies I think are really interesting. I'm interested in the Gundam stuff. I want to, I'm interested in the Highlander thing. Yeah, there's a lot of juicy stuff, man. Jack Black takeover for Bran. Now there's a movie. Now that sounds like a goddamn franchise to me. Whew! Hell yeah. Did you hear about Star Fox appearing in Super Mario Galaxy? No, I didn't, but that is lit, bro. That is lit. I am deaf on board with covering Thrones and stuff. It's the Den of Nerds, not just the Den of Marvel and Star Wars. Yeah, for sure. Well, maybe I can do a big old video on it. We could certainly cover and do breakdowns of the episodes like on the live stream and, via clips and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm excited. I know for House of the Dragon, they would drop those on Sunday, and we would do little breakdowns on Mondays. Maybe we could just continue doing that, I would really like the movies too. I think Thrones movies would be so fun, man. Are you gonna cover DC? Yeah, I got DC on my list here. I got DC on my list. Don't worry about it. Hey, don't worry about it. Hey, forget about it. Huh? I wonder what would happen if the necklace from Missandre found its way to the body of Daenerys. Yeah. Wouldn't that be interesting? Nervous for Thrones movies? Yeah, I mean, we'd have to see what they were cooking. But yeah, I think obviously there would be a lot of trepidation, a lot of confusion, a lot of is that shit gonna work, kind of conversation. Filoni is not responsible for Grogu. I don't know what that means. Talk about Dave Filoni being fired if the next Star Wars movie is a flop. I don't think that's gonna happen, bud. I think if they were going to fire Dave, they probably would have just not made him like co-president of the company just now. Like I tend to think like maybe you just don't make him co-president of the company and then fire him for a movie that was primarily made when Kathy was still so he has protection in his contracts, obviously. Well, I hope he does, but also the Emperor protects, you know what I mean? So if Dave Filoni just wants to get into Warhammer, that would be cool. Women's Health Magazine Sith Daisy Ridley could save us all. Just a thought. Yeah, I mean, it's a family show and everything, but yeah, I mean, she's stacked, and not just her forehead. Anyway, no, he doesn't have protections, but that's insane to think he's getting fired after he made a TV that was forced to be a movie. Yeah, totally, yeah. Executive won't take that high-profile visibility position if there was a risk of getting canned within a few years. Yeah, I think he's just fooling around with us, Like, I don't think he actually thinks Dave will get fired if the movie bombs, but... Top 3 worst takes I've ever heard here on Dave. Yeah, it's pretty bad one. Yeah, it's pretty tough one there. Not winning many hearts and minds there. Okay, let's get into some other stuff here, guys. We gotta talk about Thor. That's right, we gotta talk about Thor. Yeah, Odin's son. Thor. So apparently, Thor is out there talking about those futures of those characters. And hang on, now I gotta find it. I thought I had this shit pulled up. Ooh, that's a pretty picture of some Custodes. Thor is talking about the future of the character. A couple of things he said. He talked some, he kind of talked a little bit of shit on Taika Waititi's take, of course. Talking about doing differently in Doomsday here, but this one's kind of interesting. He says, with regards to the plan for Thor after Doomsday, let me get this pulled up. Chris Hemsworth teases that there are some unique plans for Thor after Doomsday. We've got some ideas to do something pretty unique again and hopefully be different. So this is I think part of why this is going on is because Thor And, you know, Chris Hemsworth himself, right? He had like an emotional almost goodbye to the character post. We were like, bro, what the fuck was that about? Thor is crying. That's obviously a plot point from like Deadpool and all that, right? And a lot of us were like, damn, I think Thor might get fucked up in this movie. I mean, the second trailer is him praying to the Odin son, literally calling to his daddy, you know what I mean, for help in a big fight. And I don't know if that's going to go well. I think Doom's going to probably whoop that ass. So a lot of questions about Thor and what's going to happen. And I think this probably came up on the pod and they were like, is it over for you after Doomsday? Is it over for you after, you know, the Secret Wars and the Avengers stuff? And he says, no, we've got some ideas to do something pretty unique again and hopefully be different. Now, this could mean a couple of different things. Technically, he's talking about Doomsday here. At least that's what it seems like. So he could be talking about maybe the Thor core in Secret Wars. And then maybe even potentially what that means for Thor after Secret Wars, right? Which, by the way, I really think we are going to get the Thor core in Secret Wars. And there was even that Thor version of Storm, right? In What If? I did not watch that What If, but I'm pretty sure there was a Storm, right, guys? That was a Thor. And the reason I bring that up is because Halle Berry and Chris Hemsworth were in a movie together recently, and they were on a press tour, and Halle said something like, no, I'm not in Doomsday, but maybe I could be in the next one or something. And Thor said something like, oh, I'm going to make sure she's in the next one, which seemed kind of interesting. And it made me think, okay, well, maybe Thor and Storm will be a part of the Thor core working for Dr. Doom in Battleworld. Okay, so that's like one possibility here. But when I heard this, I couldn't help but think of some rumors and some things that were established by other insiders that maybe the plan for Thor after Secret Wars in the MCU that has been reset will have something to do with like Valhalla, something to do with characters that are dead, potentially some weird thing where he either comes back or has some new function in the new universe. I've been thinking about like, okay, well, what if he becomes like the new Hela, so to speak, the watcher of the underground, the afterlife, right, and of Valhalla. I don't know. That could be kind of interesting. Maybe there's a pivot where Thor would become something like an Odin in the MCU reset. I'm not really sure. There's a lot of cool ways that they could take Thor, but anytime Chris Hemsworth comes out and gives us any kind of updates about this stuff, I like to talk about it because at the end of the day, there's just like a lot of stuff we sort of know about Thor. Again, like he's crying. He seems to be a big part of the movie. He might even be on the ship with Steve Rogers and all of them already. I don't know if that's what it is, but either way, he apparently comes into the story very quickly, and he fights against the incursion stuff. So he's going to be a big part of that as well. And, you know, with the Deadpool thing and then rumors about Secret Wars and whatnot, I think this is all pretty interesting. I guess for you guys, chat, I want to know, do we want more Thor after Secret Wars? And I'm talking about Chris Hemsworth. That's specifically what we're asking here. Because Hemsworth is kind of saying, like, we've got ideas to do something pretty unique. I've heard rumors of some Valhalla stuff and some weird stuff. Do we want more Hemsworth Thor? Looks like a lot of people do. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. You know, like, there's mixed opinions. Some people are like no, some people are like yes. I think Thor is an awesome character. I've never been like a super fan of Thor, but like I like Thor. And a lot of the iconic runs of Thor, like I've read, and I like what he does in all of the big Avengers events and whatnot, and so many cool iconic moments for Thor. But I think particularly Chris Hemsworth Thor is the kind of guy, the kind of role, the kind of performer where you can keep him around for a good bit. I mean, he looks to be in incredible shape despite getting a lot older, and I would imagine that'll probably persist into his later years. I mean, if Jackman can be, you know, a 70 or, a 50 to 60-year-old Wolverine, if Downey can be a 60-year-old Doctor Doom, you know, I think Hemsworth can probably stick around for a good bit longer. I wouldn't hate it though if they figured out a way to make him like Odin or something, you know, like get a new Thor in there, but now he's Odin. I don't know, that maybe that's a little bit too weird, but yeah, I think Chris could stick around for a long time. I think he wants to, especially after the box office of this new movie he tried to make, because that shit is not doing well. So I think I joke a little bit, but I seriously do think Chris is smart enough to understand how being in the MCU can benefit him and continue to, you know, push his fitness app, push, you know, these other roles. Like it does help him out. And I think he's pretty comfortable with it. So essentially, if he's still got it, if the audience still wants it, and Marvel still wants him, why not? You know, keep the shit going. But more serious, badass Thor, no funny business, tired of that nonsense. Yeah, I think a lot of that's going to end in Doomsday anyways. I mean, dude, by the way, he talked about this too. I didn't pull it up, but he talked about that where he even said something like, we took the piss a bit in Ragnarok. Like, Hemsworth seems pretty aware of what happened in Ragnarok. And yet, the fans still love him. The fans still are really excited. That trailer, that second trailer is so serious. It's maybe one of the best lines I've ever heard Hemsworth deliver, period. And it's so serious, it shakes you to the bones, man. It's very emotional. It's very different than Ragnarok, just that scene. And so I think that is the direction you're going to take him in. So, yeah. And much like RDJ with Tony, I think he was born for the role. Yeah, I think Hemsworth as Thor is incredible, man. I think he's great in the role, yeah. He'll get more and more interesting as he ages. There's so much that he can do. I think so too. I think there's a lot left in the tank for Thor, especially because they kind of like arc him out in the same way like twice. So he hasn't really grown too much. You know what I mean? There's a lot of cool stuff you can do for him. And I think a lot of us, we look at what they did with Loki, right? Which, like, man, they have done so good with Loki. We do not appreciate enough how much care, development, interesting, like adventures and experiences we have personally had with the character of Loki. You know, it's almost worth thinking about. Everybody thinks about Doomsday and we're like, oh, don't screw up Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. But to be honest, it's just as important that they don't screw up Loki. Like Tom Hiddleston's Loki, it's like he's so important and he's at such a special place right now, right? It's just as important that story and that arc is not messed up. But I say all of that to say, like, you look at his brother, and much to be desired. Loki's getting golden treatment, ripped out of time, put into awesome events, experiences growth, gets the power of a god, holds the entire multiverse together. Thor is a fucking babysitter and dealing with his crazy ex-girlfriend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's legit what he's been doing. He went from fat Thor to sad, confused, not learning the lesson that he learned in his own first goddamn movie, Thor and Love and Thunder. It's really sad, you know? So I say all of that to say we need some more juice for Thor, baby. We need some more juice. Didn't Love and Thunder still make a ton of money? Yeah, it made like 760, I think. Yeah, 760. Fat Thor will return in Avengers Doomsday. Wouldn't that suck? I actually wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit more of Fat Thor, but I don't want it. Yeah, I don't want it. Loki is getting so much love from Oda in One Piece right now as well. Thor, on the other hand, really, that's interesting. Been so long since the Russos had reign on any of these characters. That is a great point. Yeah, it's been a while. It's certainly been a while since they had any control. Now they got that control back, baby. The mortal Thor, which they pivot for him back on Earth in an alt identity. Oh, yeah, that's cool. That sounds fun. Yeah. Yeah, do you think that's what they would do in the reset or whatever? Herald of Galactus Thor would be peak. That would be pretty cool. Do a Donald Blake thing? Yeah, they could do a Donald Blake thing, yeah. Noob Master 69 will return in Avengers Doomsday. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, the Donny Cates Thor stuff? Yeah, it's awesome, yeah. Yeah, I have read some of that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You know, and I also think, too, I guess just to finish off this segment, I'll say, in the scope of what the next saga is likely to be, which is mutant, but really cosmic, okay? And we'll talk more about this tomorrow because I'm going to do the whiteboard stream. I'm going to kind of break down like all the Doctor Doom stuff, but this all has to do with what they're going to do in the next saga. And I think ultimately there'll be some kind of big coming threat that is out in the cosmos somewhere that has been sort of either released or is now no longer held back because the Kangs are truly gone, okay? And the multiverse is truly free, but what that means is there's bad stuff that wasn't around before and is around now. That's more or less what I think is going to happen, okay? And so Thor could be a really interesting character to explore some of those concepts and ideas, even if he is in Valhalla. Because you could be talking about other realms and adjacent parts of the multiverse itself, these superstructures, these things. So yeah, you could do something really crazy with Thor that would, you know, because we've heard some talk of maybe like an Annihilus kind of a thing, right? So if they do like a new version of Annihilus and it's this annihilation wave that's out there destroying parts of the galaxy, well, Thor is an interesting character to have some kind of an interaction there. You know? Yeah, pretty cool. Oh, it just came out. X-Men movie slated to start filming this year. What? Where's that article from? Okay, well, let's end the segment there about Thor. Any last minute thoughts about the Thor stuff? The Enigma Force leading to a celestial war? Something like that could be going on, yeah. Yeah, you put the link on Discord. I'll grab it in just a second, my man. Any other last minute questions, comments here about Thor? Books of Doom? Oh, hell yeah. Books of Doom is a great, great story, man. The absence of Kang could lead to the resurgence of Apocalypse. Ooh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Just make Thor cool again. I agree, Carl. I agree. You know how we're going to make Thor cool? He gets into Warhammer. No, I'm serious. No, hey, whoa. Don't leave. Walk with me on this. Thor 5, after Secret Wars. And it starts with a montage. And Thor's like, after everything I've been through, including that crazy guy, Dr. Doom, I decided to do the coolest thing a hero can do. Get into Warhammer. And then we pull back and he's like painting his Warhammer minis. And then he wants to like go to a tournament. It's all about Thor playing competitive Warhammer. I like where your head's at. I think that's a good movie. That's a franchise right there. Yeah, man. Woo! I tell you, that's a franchise right there. Oh shit! I tell you what. Oh shit! I tell you what. The fuck is this bullshit? I'm sorry, I'm looking over this thing you sent me right now. Another X-Men movie could be all coming here either in the next few months in the year. Okay, so unfortunately, this isn't what you thought, bud, but that's okay. So let's go into this. This is going to be a good teaching moment. So actually, if you look at this, guys, okay, it says that the next Avengers movie is starting at Pinewood. Note added on 6/2/26, so earlier in February, has been put on hiatus. That's actually super relevant. That connects to what Alex was talking about, how the Secret Wars filming has been put on a slight hiatus, likely to negotiate contracts because I think they're going to split it into 2 movies and make this essentially a trilogy now. And then it says here, there's also word that another X-Men movie, the next Jurassic, Fast and Furious, and Ridley Scott World War I movie could all be coming here either within the next few months or later in the year. Notes added on February 18th. So while those notes are there and in an official documentation, it's not a hard confirm on anything. So last we heard was that the X-Men movie would not be filming until after they wrap Secret Wars. So until I see some hard evidence that that is happening, this filmbase.uk industry update page does not mean that. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It's cool, though. It's cool. I'd love for the X-Men movie to get going, but I don't think it will until after Secret Wars, actually. I would actually be pretty surprised. And in fact, if a Secret Wars movie starts filming before they are done with Secret Wars, I want to know what fucking movie that is. Especially if they're now breaking this shit into 2 parts. What X-Men movie could that be? Interesting. Okay, but we got a couple other rumors. We got some other things that we got to get into. We got other things we got to get into. Does that make sense what I just said, guys? Because it is not, I mean, you're going to see a bunch of tweets saying X-Men movie filming in UK in 2026. And that is literally not true. Like, you're literally going to see a bunch of tweets that say the X-Men movie is confirmed to be filming in the UK in 2026. And that is literally not true. Does anybody have any questions about that? Anybody got any questions? What if it's Deadpool 4? That would be cool. That would be hella cool. That would be hella cool, dog. All right, let's talk about Spider-Man's, dude. This one's pretty crazy. Did you guys see the latest rumors here for Spider-Man's brand new day? I got to tell you, chat, we're going to go over this. It might not mean what I think it means, but I'm starting to be worried that this year, which we thought was going to be like the year of Spider-Man fans, might actually watch you guys, or you might force you guys, rather, to watch your Spider-Man heroes all get killed. Murdered, in fact. What am I talking about? Well, we got this. We got this new scoop from Pooper Scooper Daniel RPK. Peter Parker will reportedly be badly injured in Spider-Man Brand New Day. The Punisher then brings him to Claire Temple, the night nurse, to treat his wounds. Okay, this is pretty crazy. So, on the one hand, this does connect to other rumors where the Scoopers were sort of teasing that Frank Castle's iconic moment from Civil War, where Peter Parker gets shot and he's like, I need a medic now. And Frank Castle saves Peter after getting shot. It seems like they're going to replicate that in the movie. And I did start to hear buzz about that a couple of weeks ago. We also heard some rumors that the Defenders, including Claire, the night nurse, will also be showing up in Spider-Man. I think mostly to set up the future for that character past Secret Wars, as I think they're going to bring a lot of those characters back and tell stories in New York City. But here's the other thing that's going on that everybody's kind of being coy about. And I really do think it has to do with Peter Parker dying. Okay. And I was told a long time ago, and I mean a long time ago, back when we thought this movie, the Spider-Man movie, was going to be with Daredevil, and it was going to be about Kingpin. And remember, there were even rumors that maybe Ant-Man was going to be involved. This movie was like very different at one time. It was going to connect closer to the show, to the Daredevil show. And so that was a thing. Like, at one time, that's what they were going to do in that movie. But even in that version of the movie, I was told Peter Parker was going to die. Now, I actually got told that they wanted to do the thing from Kraven's Last Hunt where Peter Parker dies, funeral and everything. This was what I was told. Funeral and everything. There's a whole ass funeral for Peter. Oh no, it's so sad. Peter Parker died. Spider-Man's dead. And then the symbiote would creep through, go down into the grave, and resuscitate Peter and bring Peter Parker back to life. I was told that a long time ago. And I hadn't heard anything about it for like a year. But now with this coming up, and the fact that like Alex Perez keeps teasing that the Hulk might actually kill somebody in this movie is starting to make me think that Hulk might actually kill Peter Parker in this film. So that's pretty wild. Okay? That's pretty wild. So I definitely want to know, what do you guys make of this? Do you think this could actually happen? How do you think you could see something like that going down? Right? But then the other question is, if they do this and then he just comes back to life, like does it really matter as much? Is it still going to be sad? Is it still going to be tragic or whatever? And then how will Spider-Man fans deal with the same thing maybe happening in Doomsday? Because the rumors are in Doomsday right now that at the beginning of the movie, Tobey Maguire is going to fight against Wolverine. It's going to be for the sake of his universe. Tobey's going to lose. Tobey might get killed by Wolverine. I know Alex Perez said that doesn't happen, but maybe it does. You know, maybe Alex is lying, or maybe he's just getting it wrong. Maybe Tobey dies. But maybe it's like a thing where the TVA saves him last minute or some shit too. I'm not really sure. But I wonder, how do you think the Spider-Man fans will deal if in 2 of the Marvel movies that come out this year, we watch Spider-Man get killed? Like, once seemingly by Hulk, and then once seemingly by Wolverine. I mean, Peter Parker cannot stop catching L's in this year of 2026. Getting shit kicked by Hulk, and then getting stabbed to death by Wolverine. How do you think the fans are going to deal with that shit, ladies and gentlemen? I gotta know. I gotta know. What do you guys think? Since Destin is creating famous comic panels and covers, we might get the resurrection scene from Kraven's Last Hunt. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Maybe. If Sony kills Peter in Brand New Day, and Spider-Man fans are going to be pissed. Yes, but will they still be pissed if he literally comes back in the same movie? Sounds about right. Yeah. It does kind of sound about right, yeah. I don't want to see any more Spider-Mans die. Well, guess what, Chris? Too bad. Hulk, Spider-Man, and Wolverine are considered the big 3 of Marvel, and those 2 will kill Spider-Man. I know, it is kind of interesting, yeah. Brand New Dead. Madam Web brings him back? Oh, man. You really think they're going to kill Tobey? I think they're either going to kill Tobey or basically have him left for dead as his universe is being destroyed, yeah. Yeah, I do. Spider Noir dies too, right? Like, damn. Now, as far as Tom Holland dying, right, it could be the symbiote that brings him back to life, but it also could be the other. So there was this thing in comics where at one point Peter is dying. Nobody can figure out what's going on. And he dies and he's resurrected, kind of breaks out of a cocoon, and he becomes the other. So his spider senses are like dialed up to like 1,000. He's stronger. He gets these little spikes that come out of his wrist. Yeah, he has like really long hair on his arm. Like, dude, it was a really crazy event in comics. I liked it a lot. And it's either the case. So we don't know if he's going to die, right? It seems like he's going to get wounded. That's what Daniel's reporting. He's going to get wounded. They're going to do the Punisher thing. Claire's going to try to take care of him. But what if Claire can't save him and he dies? Well, maybe he either comes back because of the power of the other, or he comes back because of the symbiote. I would say the symbiote is probably a better bet. Because I know they want Tom Holland in the black suit for Secret Wars. Sadie thinks Shakira is going to resurrect Peter. I will shit my pants if that happens. Like, I will just take a poop right there in the theater. You better hope that you're not in the theater with me if they pull that shit off. Because I will take a crap, like just a huge dump in the theater. That's why I'm hesitant they'll show the symbiote at all in Brand New Day. It's already stacked too much. Yeah, maybe they'll save it. Yep. I mean, I think they're going to save the Jean Grey stuff because I don't think they expected anybody to find the Jean Grey stuff out. I think they thought they could keep the Jean Grey stuff a secret. And because all the marketing is going to be like Punisher and Hulk, right? You look at that backpack, it's like Hulk and fighting Spider-Man. And I think they're really going to market this as Hulk versus Spider-Man. Yeah. She's Shatra, right? I think she's Jean Grey, bro. I think she's Jean Grey. The Man Spider thing is too much for the movies, at least no with the main Spider-Man, maybe with some of the other variants. Yes. Oh, okay. Interesting. But don't piecemeal. Find the line. They knew what the line was before. Ooh. She's the Queen Spider, obviously. Oh, okay. LMAO, I'm trolling. Oh. Pocket modding again. What? Please, where's the Andrew Garfield tea? So there's no real tea on Andrew. Other than I think he's going to be in Secret Wars. Yeah. That's what everybody's saying. That's what everybody's saying about it. Yeah. Yeah, I think the Spider-Man movie is going to be dope, though. I think the Spider-Man movie is... I think they've got gas here. I think they know they have gas. I think they're going to rip the trailer relatively soon. And maybe the trailer will answer a few of our questions, but I think they're keeping a lot of stuff secret, man. I think they're keeping a lot of stuff secret. I think Jean is part of that. I think there's other villains they're keeping secret. I think there might even be a Doctor Doom connection they're keeping secret. It's the year of Spider-Man and they're all gonna die. Is the hand confirmed? Not confirmed, but definitely a lot of evidence that it's gonna be real, yeah. We don't know what's in it for sure because there's no trailer. True. Why won't they just drop the trailer? Come on, Kevin. What if Sadie is Gwen? That would be crazy. I don't think so, though. Josh, how much is Riding on Brand New Day being a banger? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know that too much is technically riding on it. I think it's more like they know. It's like this, man. Shang-Chi is actually like a good-ass movie. You know, cool character, cool backstory, like fun. It's fun. It's a Marvel movie, but it's fun. The action's cool. But nobody gives a fuck about Shang-Chi, really. Okay? That movie totally backfired from the perspective of, like, they pissed China off. China doesn't like Simu. Nobody's fucking with that movie over there. And over here, we were like, it's all right. Now, you got the guy that made that movie, and he gets Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is very popular. China really likes Spider-Man. I don't know if you guys knew this, but like they like Spider-Man, you know? That guy, Destin, is also getting Punisher and Hulk. People like Punisher and Hulk. I don't know if you guys knew this. Okay? But Punisher and Hulk is great. So you're getting the Shang-Chi guy, who is phenomenal. He is a phenomenal director. You've got Jackie Chan and his stunt team working on some of the choreography and helping them out. You know, we saw the practical effects. We saw the practical suit. They shot this incredible scene in Glasgow, which took months, mostly practical effects. You know, now we know there's going to be a scene where Punisher has Peter and Peter's is getting killed or dying, and, you know, and all of that is without whatever's going on with the Jean Grey element. So it's not that, like, I'm not even worried about it. Like, is it a banger? Should it be a banger? Because frankly, like, to me, and maybe to you as well, Kendall, Thunderbolts was a banger. But Thunderbolts still underperformed. The thing that's dope about Spider-Man is it's not only going to be a banger, it is a banger with a ton of popular characters that's going to feel like an amusement park ride, that's going to get all the normies excited. So it's literally, it's now capturing some of that Deadpool Wolverine energy because it's spectacle and it's just like a fun ride. But I think it's going to be backed up by all the fundamentals of what makes a movie good. So, dude, I think it's going to be a banger, but I think more important than it being a banger, it's a well-designed piece of content for the time, for the fandom. This is what they need to be doing. They need to be doing more of stuff like this. Yeah. Yeah, Thunderbolts and FF definitely had good quality. I agree with you. And again, you know, I've been going back and doing a lot of research, guys. So in the research I did about 2 years ago is when we all started to really hear those stories of how Marvel just wanted to focus on quality. And they did that. Now, I think that Captain America movie is not that, but it's also the best version of that they could have made. They tried their hardest. That movie was kind of doomed in a lot of different ways. So that one's kind of a bummer, but then Thunderbolts is really good. Deadpool and Wolverine's good, but Crazy Spectacle, really, really fun. And Fantastic Four is really good as well. So they did what they said they were going to do, and that's to really focus on quality. But I think the sort of part two to that is, okay, do the quality, but also bring in some spectacle, go for the big popular characters. Like that is basically it. Like that solves a lot of the problems. So, yeah, I think we're going to get that. And I'm so excited to see this trailer. Like, this shit's going to be real cool, man. They didn't have to put out a horrible score on that movie. Wait, what movie? What movie had a horrible score? I think the main villain being so well hidden is not Hulk and probably not Man-Spider either. Can't really be Jean. Tombstone would be lame. Remember the movie connects to Doomsday. Exactly, RC. I think you're onto it a little bit there, bud. Yeah. Didn't No Way Home trailer come out before March Madness? I actually don't remember that, but maybe, yeah, maybe. All right, there you go. A little bit of the motherfucking Spider-Man news, motherfucker. Will Spider-Man Brand New Day be the best swinging live action? Do you think it will top The Amazing Spider-Man? Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, they seem to have used some practical stuff. I bet as a director, as like a director and also just a producer, somebody that makes these things, you probably looked at all the Spider-Man movies and you're like, I want to do my version of that, you know? So I bet it'll look really good. Dude, the swinging in Spider-Noir looks really good. You know, they got 60-year-old Nick Cage swinging on those things. It looks good, man. Yeah. Okay, one last thing we got to discuss, and it's bad news for DC fans. Sorry, guys. I didn't hire James Gunn, you know what I mean? Okay, so we got some DC news. I got to talk about this. I want to know what you guys think about this. To me, this is it's pretty wild. It's in some ways shocking, and yet maybe actually the best move for James Gunn. So right now we know, of course, that Matt Reeves is cooking up the part 2 to the Batman. A lot of hype around that. Very high profile casting. A lot of interesting rumors. There seems to be a lot of hype for that film. Genuinely, people are excited about it. At the same time, Brave and the Bold, a movie that was announced, years ago, from James Gunn, the DCU Batman. It's hard to get excited for a DC universe, a new DCU, when you don't have a Bruce Wayne and you don't have a Batman, right? Like, legitimately pretty tough. For a while, it looked like Gunn was kind of trying to get Pattinson Batman to be his Batman. That has not worked out. And Gunn has been a little more forthright about how that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. So, pretty sure that's not going to be a thing. However, we're starting to hear some rumors now of what Gunn's actual strategy is for Batman and for the DCU Batman. And this is coming from Daniel RPK. He was talking about this on his Patreon. He did not say this as an official report, but he did discuss that he was hearing this on his Patreon. And what he said was that he is hearing now that the DCU Batman could be up to 5 years away or more. And it's maybe possible that Matt Reeves will get a trilogy. Yeah. So right now, a lot of us were thinking, and the conventional wisdom was that Matt Reeves will get his Batman movie, but we've got a new universe that could really use a Batman. And so many of us had assumed, and I remember even watching reports where like Snyder had talked about this and said, yeah, I don't think Reeves is going to get that trilogy. I remember there was even speculation that he wouldn't even get the second movie. Of course, he does get the second movie, obviously. But what this now means, guys, is we might be looking at a situation here where Gunn has decided, and maybe it's not Gunn, maybe it's not completely Gunn, but somebody has decided that what they'll do is do Batman completely separate from the DCU and just let Matt Reeves cook, do a second movie, and then maybe finish out the trilogy. And while that's going on, Gunn will build out his Superman saga. Now, this is, remember the Superman saga? He started to use that language last year. At some point, he starts calling all this stuff the Superman saga. And so, I don't know. Like, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, Clayface, that's a great question. Carl brings up Clayface. People were maybe speculating that Clayface would have the DCU Batman in it. But it's hard to imagine Gunn putting Batman into a Clayface movie and then not having him come out in any serious way like the Brave and the Bold movie till 2030. Although I guess you could do that. Just tease him like Thanos in the Infinity Saga and then eventually have him. But that appears to be the rumor, guys. So I want to know what you guys think about this. I got to tell you, I think this is sort of bad for the DCU, but given all the constraints, this might be the best choice. Why would you destroy the hype for Batman that is currently out there with Matt Reeves? Essentially, you can just have Batman. For a lot of normies, they don't know the fucking difference anyways. You can just say it till the cows come home, but it doesn't really matter. You got a Batman movie, you got a Batman trilogy being built out there. Batman is in the zeitgeist. Batman is out there. They're probably selling Batman toys and selling Batman comics. I mean, they're selling a shit ton of Batman comics anyway because of All In. But, yeah, so from Gunn's perspective, it's probably like, well, why would I force my version out while competing with this thing? Let's let this thing happen, cook this. I can build Superman stuff, Brainiac stuff. I can build all this DC stuff without Batman. And then when I eventually bring Batman in, it'll be really good and work for everybody. So I think that could be the rationale, or it's actually Warner Brothers themselves that is saying, no, we want Matt Reeves to have a trilogy. It legitimately could be Warner Brothers themselves, and especially with this coming sale, right? Because think about it like this. If you're now negotiating, and it seems like conversations have started back up with Paramount, so Warner Brothers is negotiating with Paramount and Netflix once again, okay? Don't you want to be able to tell those shareholders, that company, and be able to, like, express that you have this very successful Batman franchise that's likely going to be a trilogy? You know? So maybe it's coming from somebody above Gunn. But either way, this is probably the move. Now, here's the thing. I think potentially this is a very scary move for the DCU overall, because if Reeves stuff becomes just even more successful, like let's say Supergirl underperforms, let's say Clayface underperforms, let's say Man of Tomorrow underperforms, but Batman Part 2 makes $1 billion and they're thinking about a third one, then why would you go with Gunn's stuff at all anyways? Build out of Reeves stuff or build something completely different. So maybe, like, I could actually see a couple of reasons why maybe the people at the top think it's beneficial to just let Matt do his thing and slowly build the DCU Batman off to the side. So, guys, that's real. This is coming from Daniel, and I think Daniel's pretty reliable. I don't know that it means it's exactly happening. Maybe he'll report on it. Maybe we'll hear other people report on it too. But just with this now happening, I got to know what you DC fans think about this. I feel bad for you DC fans, man. Like, legit. Like, Supergirl might end up being really cool, but there's, like, no hype for it, man. There's, like, no emotion for it. Lanterns, late summer. We've seen 10 seconds of it. They just dropped a logo, and that's basically it. Brother, there ain't no hype on Lanterns either. Clayface, brother, what are we talking about? Clayface. And then we've got Man of Tomorrow with Maxima, the horny alien that wants to bang Clark. It's like, I feel bad, man. Like, things are not going super well. It seems like somebody new is going to be the owner of all this shit really soon anyway. So, yeah. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this? I think it's a double-sided coin. I think it's the best option given the circumstances, but the next 3 live-action projects flop. The DCU will be in dire need of Batman. That's very true, yeah. Freaking Clayface, dude. I know, I can't believe it, right? I think all the plans change once the sale is done. Yeah, that could be. That could be. You know, it really seems like Gunn fast-tracked that Man of Tomorrow movie because he saw the writing on the wall with the potential sale. Like, I know that's never been really confirmed, but I think that's probably a fair take. And I think a lot's going to ride on that movie. But then again, I mean, you know, whoever buys this thing, they could have a vision for this that's totally different regardless. You know, we'll just have to wait and see. Honestly, I have zero DC hype right now. Yeah, I don't really have any DC hype either. And I would argue that if you're a DC fan, even if you're a little bit more of a fan of what's currently going on than I am, like maybe you liked Peacemaker, maybe you like Creature Commandos, whatever. I would just ask you honestly, think about where your level of hype was when Gunn was first announced, when he was first announcing projects, and then just think about where your hype level is at right now. And just ask yourself, like, do you really think the DCU is doing better than the DCEU? Like, do you really feel like things have turned around? Yeah, I don't know, man. It doesn't feel like we're moving in the right direction for me personally. Who do I think would be best, Netflix or Paramount? I don't know. I like both for different reasons. It's really hard to say, man. I think, to be honest with you, I'm excited about both because it holds the promise of like something new, frankly. So I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I really don't think it's going to be a big deal either way. I know like some people really don't want Paramount to get it. And I think some people don't want Paramount to get it because Paramount is more conservative or wants to make, you know, conservative content or whatever. I got news for you. I think a lot of Hollywood's going to start doing stuff like that anyway. So I think even Netflix might start doing that. But ultimately, man, I think, like, I guess if I had to pick, I would personally pick Paramount. But I'm not going to be mad if Netflix gets it. And I think Netflix could do some really interesting things too. I would almost be more interested in what they do with the shows if Netflix gets it. And if Paramount gets it, I'd be really interested to see if they decided to reboot or go against Gunn. That's kind of, like the thought process for me. Yeah. If this says anything, I'm more hyped on Star Wars than DC, and I'm really not hyped on Star Wars. Ooh, that's a tough one there, brother. That's a tough one there. Neither. Warner Brothers keeping ownership would be best. Oh, that's probably not going to happen, my guy. I don't think that's going to happen. Am I excited for Mando and Grogu? No. At least I have DC Comics. DC Comics is doing really good right now, yeah. Hell yeah. Filoniverse? I don't know, Mike. I don't know. I got to see. Mando Grogu is technically in the Filoniverse, and I think it might be a whole bag of ass. So I guess we'll just wait and see about that. Netflix has yet to show me they can do good CGI. I highly recommend to watch the interview Sandros did with Matt Bellany. He was nervous. Who the fuck is... Oh, Ted Sarandos? Oh, interesting. Yeah, nervous about Paramount getting it. I mean, guys, I think Paramount has a pretty good shot at getting it, yeah. I'm excited for the mall show. I'm relatively excited for the mall show. I'm a bit nervous about what it'll end up being, but the trailer was cool. The trailer was cool, for sure. Yeah. Okay, that'll do on the DC news there. That's good on that. Okay, guys. Well, I think that's probably going to do it for the stream. Is there anything else going on out there? Any other news? Anything going on? He wasn't nervous at all? Uh-oh, I'm getting mixed messages now. Did I see the Doctor Doom Oreos drop March 2nd? I did not see that. That sounds cool, though. I like an Oreo here and there. Guys, I don't want to jinx it, but I might be able to play Warhammer tonight. Knock on wood. Hope it happens. That would be the third time this week I'm playing Warhammer. So look, I know there's a lot of shit going on in the world. I know things are maybe crazy and maybe things are super dark. I'm over here in paradise, brother. I'm on my third Warhammer game this week. Unfucking believable. Paradise. Truly. Stream it? No. But we will be streaming tomorrow, and I'm gonna do a whiteboard stream tomorrow. Oh my god, I'm gonna blow your fucking minds tomorrow. Please go watch the video, the big video that I did. But if you don't get through it all, or you're confused by it, or you don't have time, just come by tomorrow. I'll do a whiteboard stream. I'm gonna break down the truth of this big plan for Marvel Studios, and I think I'm gonna blow your fucking mind, dude. So we'll do that. Maybe there'll be some other stuff we'll go over tomorrow as well. Next week, by the way, we're going to do another deep dive stream for the members. We are going to be deep diving and nerd e-fapping all over the first X-Men movie. That's right, X-Men 1. All the way back, I think, in 1999, unless I'm mistaken. X1. We're going to be breaking that down. So come on by next week if you're a member for that. Lots of fun videos, lots of fun streams, lots of nerd venging. We're doing it. We're doing it big in this year of 2026. I tell you what. Hell yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Much love. I'm going to get on out of here, man. And as I always say, you better not freeze. This thing better not fucking freeze on me again. Fucking stupid ass. Fucking stupid ass thing here. Fucking better not. But hang on. Let me do it. We'll do it this way. I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh man, what a happy landing. Guys, can you believe we did 5 topics? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. 5 different topics. You probably didn't even notice because time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, what a nice little morning. And we'll be back at it again tomorrow. Hell yeah. Tomorrow's gonna be fun too. Get the whiteboard out, have some laughs. It's gonna be good. All right, appreciate you guys. Get on out of here. Enjoy the rest of your day. And do me a favor, actually make it 2 favors. First off, open up your third eye. And second of all, wash out your stinky, stinky butt. Oh. Okay, see you later.